Good morning and welcome back to a new day of daily updates across all of the major dollar pairs. Starting off with DXY on the daily time frame that we can see we've had that break of structuring towards the upside, and this is the current swing range that we are trading within. Now, what I'm looking for after this break of structure here is a pullback down towards points of liquidity where we could then potentially look for that next upside move. We did see some bullish price action yesterday, and I believe if you go down onto the 15-minute, we can sort of make sense of why we may have seen that. If you have a look here at the price action that we are currently seeing, we can see that we've had this 15-minute break of structure over here, and after a break of structure we expect a pullback, which is why this price action here to me does make sense, although I would have preferred to have seen it take out this high and then see that switch bearish, where I'd have then been happy to scale in on some DXY short positions. But as it stands, I do still see some downside on the dollar. We might see one more drive up to take out this point of liquidity, but over I think in the short to medium term, some downside is needed on the dollar on the daily time frame to take out some key points of liquidity. So what does this mean for EURUSD? We can see on the daily time frame that we had that break of structuring towards the downside, and this is our current swing range. Now, similar to DXY, we're trading after a break of structure, and therefore I want to see a pullback, and I want to see that pullback take us up towards some significant points of liquidity on the daily time frame, where we can then potentially look for that next downside position. If we go down low onto the 4-hour time frame, what we can see is we've had a 4-hour break of structure over here. We've got our swing high and we have our swing low. Now, if we ignore this relatively sideways price action at the moment, it does make sense from a market structure and a liquidity standpoint that we take out some points of liquidity and then see a change in the order flow, and then we could look for a downside move. Now, it is important to note that we have actually taken out this first liquidity high here, and if we were to break this demand zone that is currently in control, you could be happy, or I will be happy to scale into some short positions. However, I would prefer to see this demand zone hold for now, push price up, take out this point of liquidity, as that matches the bias on the DXY pushing down further, and it's just higher probability because it's the last point of liquidity within this overall impulse, and therefore it has the highest probability of working. If we go down onto the 1-hour time frame, you could potentially look for a long position, trading it up towards this 4-hour point of liquidity. As you can see, we've had this 1-hour break of structure in towards the upside, swing low, swing high. We've now liquidated this point of liquidity. If we see a structure shift where the order flow changes bullish,